I present the Ministerial Report on Safer Schools, Stronger Classrooms. Territorians put their trust in us to reduce crime, rebuild the economy and restore our unique lifestyle that makes the Northern Territory the best place to live, work and invest. Our CLP Whanokirauaru government made a promise that we would be one of action, certainty and security. We listened to Territorians and are delivering on our election commitments. We have acted swiftly and departments have had to be agile over the past year to set things in place. We haven't just talked about it, we've acted on it. In our second year of government, I can proudly say we have kept that promise. We have brought back school attendance officers. I've been out on patrols with school attendance officers in Palmerston, Alice Springs and Katherine. I've seen firsthand the impact they are having working with families and students to get them to school. I've spoken to the teams about the challenges families are facing and overcoming to get their kids to school. These attendance officers, Madam Speaker, have conducted more than 6,000 compliance visits this year, resulting in over 1,000 compliance notices being issued. Of those 1,000 compliance notices, 531 have been revoked. This has resulted in 531 children being back in classrooms, getting an education and on their way to a better future. Madam Speaker, let me take you on a trip. Oh, sorry, okay. Mr. Deputy Speaker. It's okay. Let me take you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, on a trip down memory lane. When coming to government last year, we uncovered Labor's secret list, which obscured real data around children attending school. This list, called the Intensive Support Roll, was deliberately covering up school attendance figures by under-reporting. This cover-up ends under my watch as the Minister and under the Whanokirauaru CLP government. As of this time last year, there are 328 less students on the Intensive Support Roll, due to the hard work and dedication of the attendance and engagement teams working across the Territory. In June this year, we launched the Boosting Literacy and Numeracy Plan, which utilises explicit teaching strategies. This ensures that every child has access to the strongest start and having access to the foundations of literacy and numeracy. This plan involves explicit instruction in reading and mathematics, based on evidence and best practice that follows an I do, we do, you do approach. It allows our valuable teachers to break down concepts into smaller and more practical steps to allow students to build understanding. For NT children to get jobs for their future and be competitive, their education results must be improved. This is something, Mr. Deputy Speaker, that Labor failed to do. Under their watch, we saw literacy and numeracy levels plummet to the lowest in the country. Rolling out our explicit teaching across the Territory gets schools back to basics and improves literacy and numeracy outcomes. Regardless of where children are in the Territory, whether they're in Borroloola, Oampelli or here in Darwin, all children have the right to access an equitable education, and our government is committed to supporting and working with schools to have a consistent approach to teaching. I have seen this in action in schools that I've visited across the Territory, where students are more interested, engaged and learning. This is the foundation of providing positive outcomes for our student learning journeys. I'm sure we can all recall that one teacher that had a positive impact on our lives. Teachers are the frontline staff who deliver education needs to our future leaders here in the Territory, and that level of engagement cannot be underestimated. Our government is committed to supporting teachers and ensuring that they are equipped and provided with guidance, resources and professional learning to roll out explicit teaching across all classrooms in the Territory. Earlier on this year, or just last month, on September the 25th, our government launched new incentives aimed at keeping and attracting teachers, confirming our government's commitment to continue to deliver in its year of action, certainty and security. Our Keeping and Attracting Teachers strategy is ensuring the Territory is not only training more teachers, but encouraging them to put down roots and stay here in the Territory. We have the most generous housing grants in the country. with $50,000 for first home buyers to build a new property, as we've just heard the Minister for Housing and Construction speak so passionately about. Two key scholarship programs, Teach Local and Teach Up North, were recently launched. These scholarships offer up and coming and aspiring teachers incentives to complete their teaching degrees in the Territory. The 4 years Teach Local Scholarship Program supports 15 Territorians per year to become teachers. In addition, the Teach Up North incentive offers up to 25 student teachers an incentive of $5,000 to complete their final placement in the NT, committing them to teach in an NT government school for a 2-year contract. We all know, Mr Deputy Speaker, that when you get a taste of our unique Territory lifestyle, that you are most likely to put down permanent roots and create a life, build a family and contribute to our economy. We know, along with our home builder grants, with $50,000 for our first homeowners and $30,000 towards a second home, these grants support teachers and other professionals to put down roots and stay here in the Territory as well. It doesn't stop there. Our government is committed to attracting and keeping teachers, giving them financial certainty by moving them from short-term contracts into permanent places, another election commitment we have commenced and will continue. We are committed to increasing the number of teachers holding those permanent contracts to 75% for the total workforce. It's all about giving our valued teachers certainty, and that's something that Labor failed to deliver. These professionals are delivering the best education possible to our students. On the 5th of March this year, our government announced our planned move away from middle school and commenced consultation with parents, students, educators, school communities and peak bodies, which were held across the Territory, another election commitment. Secondary school reform is a part of our commitment to create employment pathways to real jobs in our schools. It provides students with high-quality learning pathways, greater continuity from the year 7 to 12, and prepares students for a life beyond school. Our government wants to get this transition right, which is why we have consulted so broadly and listening to all school communities. Briefings were held at affected urban schools, including Casuarina Senior College, Darwin High and Middle School, Nightcliff Middle School, Dripstone Middle School and Sanderson Middle School. Also in Alice Springs at Centralia Middle School and Centralian Senior College. Mr Deputy Speaker, when I visited Alice Springs and met with the school council, parents and school staff, I heard loud and clear the concerns they had around infrastructure upgrades needed and being ready to roll out next year in 2026. Along with the Chief Executive of the Department of Education and Training, we agreed their concerns were real and came back with a plan to allow them to start transitioning to be a full comprehensive school in 2027. This gives the Alice Springs community time for infrastructure upgrades, and the full phase-out of middle schools will be at the end of 2028, in line with Darwin and Palmerston schools. Supporting the creation of stronger employment pathways through reforming secondary education ensures students can finish school and move to jobs and training. School is not for everyone, Mr Deputy Speaker, and there are many pathways that students can take. Through the VET pathways, working with school careers counsellors, students can do many varied courses. When in remote settings, there are learning on country programs that can support a pathway to either an ATAR or employment, and students should be supported through these processes. Work has also begun to improve secondary pathways for all students in remote and very remote areas. We are developing the Skills NT Plan, which will support the vision of the NT's Economic Strategy 2025 by targeting key industries such as energy, defence, agriculture, mining and tourism. Work is taking place with businesses, industry and the community to build the NT's workforce, including strengthening partnerships between industry and schools. This is something the Department of Education and Training is working closely with Minister Carl's team in the Department of Trade, Business and Asian Relations. We have continued with the back-to-school vouchers, reporting over 41,000 students have used them this year, which is easing the cost of living for families. This, along with the sports vouchers, enables families to spend money on more essential items like food and rent. Back-to-school vouchers are available for each student and can be put towards educational goods and services such as uniforms, textbooks, stationery, school excursions and much more. Next year, after hearing concerns from the community around the spending of the vouchers, Mr Deputy Speaker, I can report that there will be further improvements to the policy. Vouchers can now be transferable amongst siblings in the same household, attending the same school, supporting families better spending them. Our government understands the pressures families are faced with on a day-to-day basis, which is why we've been proactive in making policy changes to the usability of the back-to-school vouchers. In addition, these vouchers are now redeemable up to the end of Term 3. This allows parents to spend the funds on future activities such as camps, etc., rather than having to budget for money later in the year. This year, we also delivered the Swimming and Water Safety in Schools program, a vital program for all primary school students and another election commitment we have delivered on. $3 million has supported schools for this life-saving program. And Mr Deputy Speaker, I've also been a swim teacher many years ago, and it certainly is a life-saving program. I recently had a conversation with the member for Breitling, who was telling me about a family in his electorate that had come in and spoken to him, and the mother was quite distraught in tears. And, you know, there could have been an incident in a backyard pool where that child either drowned or something, and it was the fact that that child had attended the Swimming in Schools program that made all the difference, and that did not end in a death and an absolute tragedy for that family. So, you know, I think $3 million to roll out that program right across the territory where all children get such great life-saving skills and learn to swim is amazing. As the Minister for Education and Training, the Swimming in Schools program has already seen 10,000 students complete vital lessons, with more schools to complete their lessons this term. Swimming supports physical activity, overall health and well-being. It's an essential skill that saves lives, builds confidence in students around water environments. All government and non-government schools have accessed funding for water-based swimming lessons for students years 1 to 6. And here in the Territory, we know people love to get out and enjoy our beautiful nature. They love the outdoors, Mr Deputy Speaker, whether at a swimming hole in Litchfield or Kakadu, a dam on a remote property or just a backyard pool. I know Swimming in Schools program saves lives. A highlight includes overcoming long-standing logistical challenges for remote communities, such as Milakarpiti, where students travelled to Darwin to receive swimming lessons during week 1 of Term 4. Pularumpi School is scheduled to attend in week 4. Earlier this year, 4 remote schools held a camp in Tennant Creek where they accessed their swimming lessons. We continue to work closely with schools, communities and service providers to address some of the barriers they have come across. Schools are continuing to be innovative and work in excursions to town and line-up lessons. And I want to thank the School of Sport Principal Tim East and the team that have been supporting schools with these logistical arrangements. And it would be remiss of me, Mr Deputy Speaker, if I did not offer a huge congratulations to the Department of Education and Training team in winning the Chief Minister's Restoring the Territory Lifestyle Award, which I know you were at, Mr Deputy Speaker, on Friday night for Swimming in Schools program. Again, to the Department and the School of Sport, thank you. It was a great program. It was a great night. We've also rolled out the Police in Schools program to build positive relationships between police and young people while improving safety. Parents and students have the right to feel safe in their school without fear. Our government is committed to keeping teachers and students safer through the expansion of counsellors based in schools, not in the Mitchell Centre like the previous Labor government wanted to do. 9 new school counsellors have been recruited to date, with further recruitment underway for more, along with school social workers. This last term of 2025, 5 of the new school counsellors commenced and were allocated to Darwin High School, Darwin Middle School, Dripstone Middle School, Catherine High School and Sanderson Middle School. In Term 1 2026, another 4 school counsellors will commence, and they will be located at Casuarina Senior College, Nightcliff Middle School, to Min Min College and Darwin High School. What we saw under the previous government, as I've spoken about many times before, is a model that had counsellors operating out of the Mitchell Centre, as opposed to a student being able to access a counsellor in their school environment. We also want teachers to feel safe at school and to look after their well-being whilst feeling appreciated in their workplace. Mr Deputy Speaker, we know we cannot attract and retain exceptional teachers if they do not feel safe in their own workplace. After years of going backwards under the previous government, we are slowly turning the ship around, but this will not happen overnight, nor in just 12 or 14 short months, but we are well on our way. The Department and NT Police are working together to develop a staged program to place police Aboriginal liaison officers in regional and remote schools. And I announced this in Katherine just a couple of weeks ago, Mr Deputy Speaker. And this program is in addition to and complements the existing school-based policing program. Placing ALOs in our schools is another measure our CLP government is taking in our year of action, certainty and security to increase school attendance rates. As I've repeated time and time again, and will continue to do so, we want better outcomes in literacy and numeracy, and also improved school attendance rates. The school-based ALA program will see 40 ALOs over the next 4 years to work in selected government schools. They will provide culturally appropriate responses to issues in the school and community. As I've said, a couple of weeks ago, we announced 2 in Katherine, one Ethan Woods Alum at the Katherine High School and Sylvia Moroney at McFarlane Primary School. These 2 ALOs are born and bred locals that have a wide range of cultural and family connections that will hold them in good stead for the work they will undertake. The program is about stronger connections and safer schools, which leads on to better outcomes for everyone. Our government is committed to holding parents accountable for depriving their children of an education. Our Whanokēaro-led government has a clear focus of getting kids back to school and holding parents accountable. And earlier this year, new legislation was introduced to support the important work of the school attendance officer by enshrining their role in legislation. Parents who consistently fail to get their children to school will now be referred for income management. All parents have a responsibility to get their children to school. Department officers can now refer parents to income management in instances where reasonable and sustained efforts have been exhausted, with the aim to achieve compulsory enrolment and attendance. And I stress this is for chronically disengaged students, Mr Deputy Speaker. It's a simple message. If you don't want to be income managed, get your kids to school. The School Attendance Officer program aims to increase school attendance, protect vulnerable children from disengaging from our education system and ensure that every child in the NT has access to the education they deserve. In addition, student engagement advisors lead complex case management to support students and families to re-engage in education. The CLP government, after a lot of consistent work with the department and the attendance teams, have halted the decline in attendance rates and have maintained a system-wide attendance rate of 71.7% when compared to Term 3 2024. The stabilisation confirms that the work the department is doing is heading in the right direction. The consistent work to support students to engage in education and learning and holding parents to account for sending their children to school remains front of mind and is paramount in delivering outcomes. Attendance rates regionally have increased, with 4 of the 6 regions increasing attendance in Term 3 2025. 68 of our government schools recorded an increase in attendance when compared with the same time last year. Of these, 6 schools recorded a remarkable increase of between 10 and 15 points, with Mungbara standing out with an extraordinary increase of over 30 percentage points. Well done to them and the community. School staff, along with regionally based student engagement advisors and school attendance officers, are committed to continuing to work in partnership with families and students to attend school and engage in education and learning. And there's been a lot, Mr Deputy Speaker, of focus on the early education and care sector recently, with safety concerns and also the delivery of services right across our regions. I know we have staffing challenges here in the Territory, so our government has launched the Early Childhood Scholarships, offering up to 25 scholarships each year, valued at $5,000, to support these studying early childhood education. We've been working hard to clean up the mess Labor left us in the education space, but there is still plenty of work to do. This is just the beginning. Our government is laser-focused, determined and courageous. We're building momentum and delivering results. Our government will continue to deliver for Territorians because that was what we were elected to do. I'd like to thank all of the department for working through a big year of education reforms. To the staff out in our very remote regions like Lunapoy Homelands and Owenpelly that I've visited recently, or whether you are Telka at Mataranka School, everyone has been doing their bit to lift the standard of education, and I thank them. We have a lot more work to do, as I said, but we are moving in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister.